Phil Burgundy Iris or Moses Cleveland's Canterbury Tales, Book 9, line 2531. Ladandria to where the woad, Feline as well, what distance told, not of their presence ever hard to see, of blue and black, what shape to lack, diffused confusion when attacked, of soot and blue paste made of chicory, to dazzle and indeed inflect, interlace to interject, the cordage wove and worn above the woad, a subtle knitted body glove of flaxen cordage made with love, in distance lost to vision, fate abode. To fix the cordage, twigs and leaves inserted in the cordage be, with ganger would they scout ahead, with dread. To fade they thus into the night, to disappear into twilight. With whisper footfalls thus indeed they sped. On busy note did Janus gloat, his boots to shine till not a mote of dust or blemish there to hide the light. Reflected from his shiny boots, while others dulled theirs with the soot, and ash they took from campfire burning bright. The upstart ran without a plan, with Janus who he did thus stand, his boots thus waterproof when greased with lard. Though not quite shiny it would prove, to drier feet he thus was moved. Of foresight, though, he had better regard. The gnomes Sabrina and Mithrax were throwing dice, appearing lax, enjoying they the giant's soup de noir. But respite restitute and slight, thus occupied, allaying fright, the luck of dwarves but greater by and far. Her luck indeed be somewhat marred, a quid pro quo not in the cards. The odds decreed that one would get to heaven, but 6 and 8 and even 12, and often 2s, for did she delve, by all means could she not but roll a 7. The backstroke in the soup de noir, the favored gnome, the odds on par, a lizard's tongue bequeathed her by the fae, a lizard's feast before the fire, a lizard's heart would thus desire, an insect's kiss would not be put to shame. Ever fell the fae desire not to illustrate what mote begot, her fell heart for to be not cast away, exasperating senses be to bless the blind who thus would lead, a forked tongue for to guide when lips do stray, but lizard lips with fell intent, a lizard's heart but for to vent, and senses overcome by new sensation, but for the blind who thus would lead, a forked tongue to inflict indeed, and instincts for to match indeed on station. As darkness cast a nescient pall upon the campsite, night did fall. The ode of darkness glimmered in the coals, as Janus swallowed in his gall, in restless sleep for to befall, to contemplate indeed what threat to pose. The morning sun but yet to rise, for upstart Rand a big surprise, the waterproof his boots be in contention, though by the lard from water saved, the larded leather insects craved, voraciously the bugs consumed prevention. Voraciously his boots now gone, but for the soles upon the ground, the hardened leather harder to consume. He slit the sides, installing straps, his dagger drawn indeed to tap, for sandals worn a bane became a boon. The gnome Sabrina quiet now, her lips but pursed into a scowl, her desire for to be to feed on bugs. She off to find some breakfast now, her tongue to guide, she on the prowl, the crossroads fae enchanting her with hugs. Catania drew her map again within her mind to travel when the sun did rise and ever deep awaited. When Morpheus produced some eggs, powdered, dried, for space to save, more food to pack indeed with space negated. And overcast indeed endowed, the sun did rise behind the clouds, as fell winds blew and cooler from the lake. The fell winds blew amidst a fog, to blanket and enshroud the bog, the thieving winds but for the heat to take. The thieving winds to drain the soul, but calm and still and quiet though, a downward plummet made the temperature. The cold to quash the fell resolve of Janus his mettle dissolved, divested he of boldness, thoughts impure. So, nay, not likely that to be, withered resolve like embers be, what spittle for to drown his dearth in doom, what bane or boon to bold What bane or boon so bold to be, his essence trapped in entropy, allayed resolve arrayed without a wound. Peripatetic, like a lout, a paltry pettish pedagogue, his morning call to venture to the wind. The wind gauge nay to air consult, to muster into a tumult. On down his leg but urine to descend. But bold and lacking modesty, the exposition all to see, rain to fall on crossroads herbal garden. So, not rightly rain to fall, in decency ignored by all. On this trek, his presence not a bargain. Well, hope everybody has a good day. Love you all. No comment today. It's raining. Temperature's actually kind of nice. Have a good day.